All right, we'll start with an opening statement for Coach, and then we'll take questions for Jackie and Coach Urgo.
I want to thank Coach Ferry and UMBC for coming, bringing some fans out. And Coach Ferry and I, obviously, like Coach Paulson from last week, have a fantastic relationship. He's one of my mentors. I've learned a lot from him over the course of the last 7-8 years when we worked together at Penn State and throughout. We talk all the time, and guy I admire, and we know his teams are going to be explosive offensively. They're going to play fast. They got a lot of talent. They really shoot the ball well. They were 11 for 25 last week. So, taking away the 3 was a big emphasis for us. And we did a very good job. I mean, obviously they're 4 for 20. The problem was we were a little too aggressive taking away the 3. We want to run them off the line, but we were giving wide open drives down the paint. So, and as a result, we were out of position. And, we gave up 17 offensive rebounds. And obviously we're about to play some teams. It becomes real now. And that's got to change. We did a great job. We shot the ball really well, so we didn't have as many opportunities to get offensive rebounds. But defensively, we're giving up way too many drives in the paint and obviously way too many second chance points. Those are things that we have to clean up. 22 second chance points to a team that's much smaller than some of the ones that we're going to play here in the near future. So that's something we got to clean up. But all in all, I felt like everybody who got an opportunity to step between the lines really gave us everything they have. And that's all we could say. That's all we could talk about. That's all we preach when we get on the floor. We just got to continue to get tighter on our defense. Way too many easy drives to the basket.
Jackie, you really found your shot today, 23 points, 9 for 14 from the field. Could you talk about, just how your shot selection and your aggressiveness kind of helps trickle down into the rest of the roster?
I think just the offense we have allows Will, Jaffe, myself, RP, really everybody, Trip, who's not even back yet. That's really a major part of our offense, to be able to just find shots and find lanes. So I think just our offense in general is really beneficial for everybody on the team.
Trash?
Coach, obviously you said UMBC plays really fast. Only allowing them 5 points off of turnovers was massive. Can you just talk about how much of an emphasis you guys put on that this week in prep?
Yeah, we did. We focused a lot on taking care of the basketball because we know how important it is. We believe we have enough talent and depth on the team that if we can get some shots, we can also crash the offensive glass. But as long as we get shots, we're going to have a good chance to make a lot of them because we have that talent now. But, when you turn the ball over like last week, we turned it over and they weren't even pressuring us. We wasted a lot of opportunities that we had. So that's been a kind of an emphasis in practice. We have a little consequence if you turn the ball over. We don't have to get into what it is, but these guys are taking heed of that consequence and they're starting to make the right play. But again, we got to get a lot better when we get into the paint. So excited about that because we didn't give them a ton of opportunities to get out on the break unless they were taking the ball out underneath the basket, which is huge because we're able to set up our press and totally different when they have to actually take it out of the net as opposed to open transition off turnovers.
First look at Josh and Abdu this year in the exhibition setting. I'm curious what you thought.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Abdu struggled a little bit just to get his rhythm. He got in early foul trouble. I think a couple of them were a little soft, but they called it the way they called it, and he's got to do a better job of moving his feet. And again, I think 2 of his fouls were giving up middle drives, which we take pride on not doing. So if we just have our footwork and we keep our hands off and guard, most likely wouldn't have at least 2 of those fouls, right? So, but he's been out. I mean, he was out for a little while with a concussion, almost 8 practices, just kind of getting into shape, getting back into the rhythm a little bit. So, the more he plays, the more comfortable he'll get because we have to have him on the floor. Defensively, you saw one of the blocks he put in like the 8th row. He's on the all-defensive team, and personally, I think he's got a really good shot at being a defensive player of the year as long as he's on the floor, right? So he knows that. As far as Josh, Josh Rivera is really talented offensively, and I really like his energy over the ball and on pressure was fantastic, I thought. I think he could have rebounded the ball a little bit better like everybody else, but I know how excited he was to get back on the floor, and his offense is so dynamic, and it gives us a totally different look. And now we have him playing in a few different spots, not just the small forward position like we had him last year. So that brings a lot more size when him and Ramad and say Matt or Abdur on the floor together. So really excited about them getting back on the floor and getting comfortable.
Nick and then Sam.
Yeah, Jackie, you had 8 rebounds tied for the team lead. How much of that, how big of a part of your game is that, and how much pride do you take in getting boards and being aggressive in that way?
Yeah, I think as a team we take pride in it. We have a thing called attitude. And we all, it's rebounds, steals.
We don't have to tell them all.
Yeah, but it's just, it's really a team thing, a grit thing, a toughness thing, and I feel like, coming here, we've all adapted to that, and we all willing to get in and fight. So yeah.
Coach, you mentioned in your opening statement some things you still wanted to work on leading up to the game against St. John's. How important are exhibition games like this so close to the start of the season, where you can see those things right before you start playing games that actually count for the record?
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like a dress rehearsal, right? So everything, it's not just about the actual game, it's leading up to the game. The prep with our scouting reports, the prep with 2 days prior, the day before, just getting used to the schedule and the way we do things for a lot of we got a lot of new guys here, right? So then getting more and more comfortable with game day operations, right? And walkthroughs and things like that. It's just, there's nothing like it, right? So these 2 games, they felt like legitimate, real games. The way we played, the way we substituted, the way we defended, some of the sets that we called, right? So we were playing it as if these games count, right? And we just try to continue to focus on ourselves and make sure we continue to get better each and every day. But we learned a lot about ourselves the last 2 weeks with these 2 teams. We got some things we have to continue to get better at, obviously, but I'll be saying the same thing come March. So, but this offensive rebounding situation from last week to this week is something that we got to clean up real quick.
Yeah, so based on the outcomes of this game, were there any expectations that were not met?
Rebounding. Other than that, we did a fantastic job. I thought we took care of the ball. Obviously you don't want 11 turnovers, but right around 10, if you're doing that, right? If the reality is it's an imperfect game. You're going to turn the ball over. Under 10 is obviously tremendous throughout the nation, right? Right around 10 is really good. So that's something we have to continue to take pride in. Make sure we get some shots, but other than offensive rebounding and some of our defensive principles, one-on-one defense needs to continue to get better. I think, we've given up way too many paint touches last week and certainly this week, so we take pride in getting the ball in the paint on offense. Well, one of the things we've done really well here in the last several years is preventing people from getting paint touches on defense. So that's something we have to continue to clean up as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, Luke?
Ryan Pettis at the end of that game,
Yeah.
you're up 10, going all out, diving for that loose ball. Does that give you a sense that the attitude you're preaching is setting in up and down?
There's no question. That is what we call Fordham basketball. It's the only thing I really talked about in the locker room. So he was the first one I addressed. I said that's what it's all about, being a part of this program. You give it up for your teammates, not even thinking about the score, just playing the way we want to play. That was my favorite play of the game, and I think everybody's. That's why you saw the whole bench go crazy. And that's the one play we talked about in the locker room before coming right here. So really proud of him. It shows that the leadership has really stepped up and shown the young guys the way.
Coach, just to close, not many teams in this league have opened up with a 1-2 punch like you do, St. John's and Seton Hall. What's the message to these guys over the next 7 days before you head out November 4th?
Just continue to focus on ourselves. I mean, obviously, it doesn't matter who the opponent is. We're going to play the way we play. We got to get tougher. We got to get physical. We got to get 1% better each and every day. It doesn't really matter who we're going up against. Obviously, they're a little bit bigger, a little bit more athletic than some of the teams we'll face. But quite frankly, the Atlantic 10, I think, is easily as good as it's been. Certainly better than it's been since I've been here. You got high major kids all over this place, so all over this league this year. So this will be a great test for us the next couple of weeks to prepare ourselves for Atlantic 10 play, because I think you're going to see a lot of Atlantic 10 teams. We got a lot of so-called high major teams in this non-conference. So hopefully we're one of them. But either way, we just got to continue the process of getting better each and every day. Getting more. We got to continue to build more trust too.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you, Jackie.
Thank you guys. Go Rams.